So is your money safe in your bank? I got a couple of emails from different banks this week assuring me that their bank is safe and they're taking precautions. It's been a difficult and hectic week, and people are Googling, many people are Googling, is my money safe in the bank after the collapse that happened to a couple of banks this week? We're about to celebrate the holiday of Pesach. And Pesach is called Leil HaSeder, the Night of Order. And the reason why it's called the Night of Order is because there's a whole Haggadah. Kadesh, Urchatz, Karpas, Yachatz, there's 15 things to go there. But the question that the commentaries ask is, why isn't Rosh Hashanah called the Night of the Order? Rosh Hashanah also there's a lot of things we need to do on Rosh Hashanah. There's an order to things, especially according to the Sephardic tradition. There's also so many dates and fruits and things we need to eat. What about Shavuot? Shavuot, we have to go through so much from Torah, Nevi'im, Ketuvim. There's a whole 5 hours it takes to say the whole Tikkun Leil Shavuot. Why is Pesach the only night that's called Leil HaSeder? And the answer is, Pesach comes to teach me that there is a boss to the world. There is an order to the world. You see, the Jews were slaves. It was impossible to escape Egypt. No slave had ever escaped Egypt. Egypt was a superpower. And we sit around the Seder Pesach and we celebrate with the matzah and the wine, and we are free people. And that shows us that there is a boss to the world. We are the Greeks, the Ottomans, the Germans, all the ancient mighty empires. They're not around, but Jews are. To teach us the important lesson that when we are uncertain, when there are uncertain times, when there's an economic turmoil in the world, and we're living in precarious times, always remember, there is a boss. Leil HaSeder, God is in control. There's a boss to the world. Even Abraham, it says, went out and he sees chaos. And he says, Yesh balabais lebirazu, is there an owner to this palace? And God's voice comes out and he says, I am the owner. Amidst all the turmoil, remember that I am the boss. That's the message of Leil HaSeder. Stories told about the Aptarov. He had a chassid who needed money. So he sent him with a letter to another student of his who was a wealthy guy. He said, and in the letter it says, this guy, Chaim Yankel, give this student of mine 2,000 rubles. He needs it for to marry off his daughter. So this chassid, Chaim Yankel, gets the letter. And he's like, it's really, really difficult for me. And I know I normally contribute to causes of my Rebbe, but this time it's too difficult. And he ignored the letter. Fine. The student went back to the Aptarov. And he gave him a letter. He said, go to another chassid, get from him the 2,000 rubles. Meantime, this guy, Chaim Yankel, his business was wiped out. Slowly, his business was wiped out until he was a poverty-stricken pauper. And he went to the Aptarov and he says, I understand, I can track this down to that charity that I never gave. So why do you punish me like this? Why does God punish me? So the Aptarov says, I didn't know God didn't punish you. You see, when I was born, my neshama came into the world and I chose bankers. I chose different people to have my money that I would need for charitable causes. And I chose you to be wealthy, to be my bank, and that you should be able to distribute the money whenever I needed it. So I called upon you as my banker to distribute the 2,000 rubles to charity. And when you refused, the privilege of being my banker was given to somebody else who would agree. You see, in life, the greatest bank you could use is the dollars you put into charity. Because those dollars can never ever be taken away from you. But remember that Leil HaSeder teaches us that God is the boss. God is in control. No matter what life throws at you, God is the one who's ultimately in control. Shabbat Shalom.